I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Guess who's back? Back again. Trump is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Bing, 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 bing. I'll create a monster, cause nobody wants to see Biden no more. They want Trump. I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want Trump, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor. Some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shot when I get shot at.
All right. Well, now that I've pissed all of you off, or at least a section of you, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome. We are back. It is Sunday. This is the first night back in 3 days. Let's see. It's been 3 days since 4 days since we were here. We took off Thursday. We took off Friday. We took off Saturday. That's 3 days. We were here 4 days ago. And that's like hardly no time at all. However, it's a lot of time when you have been used to working 6 or 7 days a night, a week, in preparation for the election and whatnot. So I'll tell you honestly, when we did our last show Wednesday night, we were actually going to take off Wednesday too. We were going to do the election, but then we took off. We did the election and we took off. We did Wednesday and we took off Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're back. We're here. If you are new here, please subscribe and click the bell. Do all of that stuff. We're obviously live Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. And we could use your bell, your click, your thumb, your like, whatever you want to do. Above all else, we would like you to communicate with us. We are very interactive, so please comment. If you're watching this live right over here on the side, you can comment and we will interact with you. If you're watching this via repeat, comment down below here. That would be fantastic. We'll get back to you that way. And then above all else, please share the show with everyone you know. Of course, my name's Kristopher Bilbrey, and I am your host, your wonderful and amazing, beautiful, good-looking, smart, sexy, amazing host, Kristopher Bilbrey. Producer Kate is down below at the controls, doing the things, making sure everything is working smoothly and everything is going well. So, Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we are coming back, a first night back, I feel renewed. I feel like I've taken a break. I've been able to sleep. And mostly during this time, I have been preparing a show that we're going to do this coming Friday. This coming Friday, we're going to do a special show. Now, I just got done telling you that normally we are here live Sunday through Thursday, and we are off Friday and Saturday. However, this Saturday, we're going to be off. I don't know why I said Saturday there. This Friday, we're going to be doing a special show this coming Friday, and it is right here. We're having a little bit of a delay. I apologize. That will get with us here in just a second. This coming Friday, Westdell Community School wastewater issues update episode. The special episode Friday, November 15th, Westdell Wastewater. We will be on 1 hour early. So instead of going live at 9, we are going to go live at 8 p.m. So please, please, please remember that. Tell all your friends, everybody up in that area, anybody that is concerned about this. I have been being inundated by people asking me about this. So in just a few days, this coming Friday, we're going to take a look at everything that's been going on concerning that. So you'll have to tune in. It will be amazing. We'll get to the bottom of everything going on there. It'll be wonderful. Before we get going on tonight's show, I do want to give a quick update about my grandfather. I know a lot of people have been asking. He is out of the hospital. Cheryl, thank you for your concern. A lot of you have been texting and messaging me and asking about this. I definitely appreciate that. I know he does. I know my grandmother does. He's out of the hospital. He got out of the hospital Friday. He's at home. We've got like 6 weeks worth of an antibiotic he has to take once a day via an injection into a port. He's got a port that's in his arm. So he's got some tubes dangling from him. We've got to like hook it all up. And I get to play doctor once a day. It's pretty cool. I get to like open the saline and squirt it out, make sure there's no bubble there, and then hook it up and squeeze it into him, and then put the antibiotics there and squeeze it slowly. I get, it's an amazing thing. I get to act like I'm a doctor. It's amazing. I know more than the doctors anyway, so it is what it is. It's fun, and he's doing well. His shoulder surgery came through all right, and now really we're just kind of getting him back on the mend from this infection. We don't really truly know what the infection is yet. It's either a staph or a strep infection. And so we're taking kind of a broad spectrum approach at fighting that. And we're going to do what we got to do and get that under control. So everything's going well there. Thank you all for your thoughts and prayers. Obviously, I am back tonight in the studio. And so things are going a little bit more smooth here. And they're doing well, so we're back to normal here. So tonight's show, folks, we've got a couple things that we're gonna address tonight. First, I'm going to do it like this, so you guys I'm going to give you the option to know what we're talking about, and you can do one of two things. You can choose to listen to both sections. You can choose to listen to one section over the other, or you can choose to drop out of a section and come back, or vice versa. So we're going to be talking about three things this evening. We're going to be talking about something that happened back during the election, and it pertains to local stuff here in Muncie and Delaware County, pertaining to one of our Delaware County commissioners, a Republican. Okay, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about, some kind of conduct unbecoming that candidate. Moreover, that Republican. Of course, we're talking about Sherry Riggin and her actions during the election and what the Republican Party needs to do. So we're going to talk about that. That's going to be a brief topic. Then we're going to briefly talk about a decision that was made by a judge after the election, after the judge lost. It was a decision by a lame duck, whacked out of her brain, out of her mind, liberal lunatic. And the only thing I can say is based off of her actions. I mean, I'm not the one naming her. That's what she is. That's who she is. She's the one choosing the names. She's choosing who she is and what she represents. That's not me. And so we're going to be talking about this horrible decision that this judge made, specifically after knowing that the constituents of Delaware County booted her from the bench. So we're going to be talking about that. And then after we talk about those, I'm going to tell you right now, Shelly Moore, Shelly Stidham, let me tell you why I haven't messaged you back, Sally. Sally Stidham, I have not messaged you back because you've blocked me. So if you would like me to message you back, unblock me. You've got to use some of your noggin up here, ma'am, okay? It's not that difficult. Now, you've watched me long enough to know that I've said you're not going to like everything that I say, okay? You're not going to like everything that I say. You're going to agree with some of it. You're going to disagree with some of it. I did send you back a message via a channel that you don't have me blocked on. But in that message, if you go in there and you read it, you will understand why I haven't wrote you back since. Because I said I would not until and unless I saw that you had read that and you asked for me to. And yet, so far, you have not done that. So just be calm, be cool. Everything's all right. I get it. It's a family situation. Oh, no. No, ma'am. Be very careful because I'm getting ready to show. I can show you. I can show pictures. Stand by here real quick. We'll get this up on the screen. This is, I guess, part of what we're talking about here. Stand by 1 second. Give me a moment here. Let me pull this up because I wasn't going to get into this just yet, but we'll go ahead and get into it. Let me get this pulled up here. Okay, Messenger pulled up. Messenger pulled up. Yeah, right here. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You have me blocked. And you have blocked me, then you unblocked me to type something back, and then you blocked me again, and then you unblocked me to type something back, and I'm going to show you all right here. So the first message that you sent me was on Friday at 9:49 a.m. You said, I seen what you posted on the paper about Matt and Kim. Wow, unbelievable. I thought you research everything. I was in the courtroom on this for 30 years, twice this year, and have never seen your face. You're believing the news? ? There hasn't been any news about this, Sherry. I'm not, Sally. I'm not following the news. I'm giving you my thoughts on this. I haven't been in the courtroom, but there's more than a couple ways to follow what happens in a court proceeding. I'm a former police officer, worked in the prosecutor's office. I'm aware of how to follow court proceedings without sitting in a courtroom. Okay. You then, after you type this, You are so wrong about everything. Show me proof of everything you were running your mouth about. I'll wait. At the moment I read this message down here was what I saw. It says, you are no longer able to send messages to this person. Learn more. When I clicked on learn more, it said because this person has either unfriended you and blocked you or has removed you from being able to communicate with them. I didn't do that. You must have done that. Okay. So then at Friday at 8:38, at 20:38, which is 8:38, you must have unblocked me because then you said still waiting. And the automated thing said, hello, thank you for contacting the political spotlight, da 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 da. And then Kate must have wrote this thing. I don't understand why it's not letting me do this, but it says still waiting, and it does not give me an option to communicate back with you. However, Sally, if you will go and you will look in Messenger, I did respond to you on Friday in Messenger, and I can show you that same message right here. Give me 1 second. Right, here we go. Okay, let me show this so I can show you this. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay, so I did message you here at the Sally Stidham page, where is the last thing I've had from you. And I'll tell you exactly what I wrote. Yeah, Sally, as I've said for years, you will not like or agree with everything. You will not like or agree with everything I say. I completely understand that you don't like my thoughts on this, since this is family. You will feel a certain way about it, and I know why you would be upset about my thoughts on the matter. I am not just listening to the news. The news isn't saying anything about this. The limited content that's been in the Star Press has always been released after anything that I have put out about it. I am sure you've heard me say that I was a cop for a number of years, worked in the prosecutor's office as an investigator. I want you to know what this is. I want you to know that this is less about Matthew and more about Dowling. Okay? Dowling has a long history of coddling rapists, child molesters, pedophiles, and murderers, and other nasty people. I wish you the best, and I hope you can understand. But I understand if you don't. Chris. And then tonight, before I went live, when I actually saw that you had wrote back, still waiting, I commented back and said, when you say that you're waiting, but then you block me, I don't know what to do. I have no way to contact, because on this, I can see you still haven't even responded to any of this. And I messaged this to you on Friday. So I can only do what I can do. And on top of all of this, I have also been dealing with a situation with health and all of that myself. So my grandfather's been in the hospital, and I've been dealing with that and have been away from computers and laptops and all of that. So that is what we got. In just a moment, we're going to be talking about this. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. I completely understand if you don't. And I understand that it's going to be a sensitive matter to you because it is a family member. When you're thinking about how difficult this is for you, I want you to also put yourself in the position of the young man that was murdered and think about how difficult this would be if it was your family member that was murdered. I want you to think about that as well, because that is also very, 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 concerning. So, okay, before we get into any more of that, I do want to say just briefly that back over the election. Oh, no, first of all, because we got sidetracked. So, those are going to be the two local topics that we talk about. And we're going to talk about those starting right now. The last half of the show, we're going to have kind of a campfire roundtable discussion. Unfortunately, where you guys will be able to, communicate there, and you'll be able to listen to me. Yep, the other two got out years ago, and the other one one of them has been nothing but trouble since he got out. The other one's kind of faded off into nothing, but the one of them that got out's been nothing but trouble. It's been absolutely a terror since he got out, so we'll be talking about all of that. Locally based in East Central Indiana, sir, Swifty Stew. Okay. All right. So back during the last half of the show, we're going to be talking about national politics. I'm going to be talking to you about all of this chaos and craziness and the people that have been melting down since the results came in of the national election. So that's going to be the last half of the show. We're going to talk about two local stories, and then we're going to talk about my thoughts on what's happening and all of these 4B girls and the 4B movement and all of the people that are freaking out and all of that nonsense. So we're gonna be talking about all of that. So first, let's get into the local stories. So I posted about this back about a month ago, and we talked about the fact that the local Republican Party in Delaware County was really in shambles, and all of I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative leaning libertarian leaning conservative, whatever you want to call me. All of my other local Republican friends and everybody in politics here in Delaware County knows that the political parties and politics and government in and of itself here locally is all up in the air. It's all discombobulated. There's a lot of chaos and craziness going on. There are rumors about who's going to take over the Republican Party. There are rumors about Ed and Jessica fighting, and Ed wants to step down, and Jessica wants the power. There are even crazy rumors about crazy Will Statham wanting to take the party back over. Just a whole lot of nonsense, all right? Well, one of the rumors that have been floating around, and it's really taken on a lot of traction, has been during the last couple months, specifically the last month of this election, Republican elected commissioner who was running for re-election, Sherry Riggin, was and has been supporting two candidates running for office that are Democrats. And it's not like they're running for an office that is, uncontested and it's just those Democrats. They're actually running for office against two Republicans. So Sherry has fellow Republicans that were running for this same office, these two offices, but yet the rumor has been floating around that she has been outwardly endorsing, supporting, and backing these two candidates that are Democrats. One of them was Democrat Ashley Wright, and the other was Democrat Kim Dowling. And when Sherry has been confronted with this and asked why she was backing and supporting these people, Sherry said, well, us girls have to stick together. And look, I get it. I get that. I get that whole mentality. But unfortunately, that's not how it works in the Republican world. Now, I want to be very clear, okay? As a citizen, you have the right and the ability, and you should be able to back and support anybody you damn well please. You should support Republicans. You should support Democrats. You should support libertarians, as long as and if and until or when they are working for what you believe in. The moment that changes, boot them the hell out of there. But if you have a Republican that fits your beliefs, support that person. If there's a Democrat out there that supports your beliefs, support that person. If there's a libertarian or a Green Party or an independent or whatever else, support that person. Okay. If you are a candidate that's running for office and you don't give a damn about the local party or the state party or the national party, and you're just willy-nilly all over the place, you're out there on your own, have at it. You can do what you want. But if you're a person who is known as a leader within the community, and you're a leader within your party, and you're looked up to, and people look at you and they admire you, there are rules that you have to play by in your party. I didn't make it up. The party did. And it is one of these rules says that if you are a Republican and you want to be a Republican in good standing, that you must not support someone of a different party, specifically if it is over members of your own party. So in this case, when we have Sherry Riggin that is supporting, endorsing, campaigning for Dowling over Republican Andrew Ramirez and Ashley Wright over Republican Stephen Brand, the Republicans call that a problem. And how do I know? Why do I know this? Because the Republican Party has a long history here in Delaware County of booting members that want to be in the party, booting members that want to be part of the team out. They are so quick to shun or attempt to shun people like Troy Ingram, Chad Mock, Ryan Webb, Andrew Pop, myself, and whatever weird shit that Jessica Piper has going on with Amber Green from time to time, whatever weirdness goes on there. Okay, we know that the Republican Party here does not like to bring people into the fold. They have this belief that they have crafted an image and they're trying to maintain this image, which is complete and utter garbage and nonsense. So the fact that they've kicked Troy Ingram out of the party, being he's not a Republican in good standing, because they didn't feel like he supported Republican causes, then if there is actually proof of Sherry doing what Sherry's being accused of, then that makes that a problem. All right? So at a candidate meet and greet, or not a meet and greet, rather, a candidate team building meeting that they had, only Republican members and candidates could attend within the last month, this topic got brought up to Ed Carroll. And there was people there that wanted to do something about this. And Ed was real quick to kind of poo-poo this and say, well, let's wait and see. But I've heard that Jessica wanted to do something about this. Now, Sally, if you're talking to me about what's going on with the party we're talking about, it's not a law. it's a rule, but since it's a club or its own individual party, it's a party rule, and they have the right or the ability to dictate how that runs. It's not the same thing as Indiana code that says we all go by, because we're not all Republicans. See, there are Democrats and people who don't even care, and libertarians. So this only applies to people who are actually card-carrying members of the Republican Party or of the Democrat Party. And the Democrats have a rule that's very similar. The Republicans have a rule that says this. The libertarians don't have a rule like this. You can do whatever you want as a libertarian, but Republicans and Democrats, you gotta toe the line if you wanna be in the party. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I didn't make the rules. I'm just reporting on it. I'm just telling you. Okay. So a month ago, when this all came out, Jessica said, yeah, wanted to do something about this, but Ed wanted to hold off on this. Okay. Well, then something really strange happened. Yeah, they threw Troy out for a hell of a lot less because he voted on the council a way that they didn't approve. And what he voted on had nothing to do with Republican Party matters or anything. It was specifically only the leadership of the council in a way that was like, okay, this is who opens the meeting. This is who reads the crap during the meeting. It had nothing to do with putting anyone in charge. I mean, it was really ludicrous what they did to Troy. And that's why I want this to be pushed so hard on Sherry. Because if they were willing to do what they did to Troy, for what they did to Troy, then they definitely have to kick Sherry out of being in good standing. Now, what does that mean? It means exactly nothing. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I want to get to a place where we all know what's to be expected, because right now we're running around all willy-nilly and anything can happen at any minute, at any time, and there's no standard here. And that's not a way to live a life. That's not a way to conduct ourselves in these matters, okay? So on election day, a picture of Sherry Riggin was taken. And it kicked off this whole big firestorm, okay? So I want to show you this real quick, all right? First off, ladies and gentlemen, the two people on the screen that you see here is your Delaware County auditor. He's an elected official. And your Delaware County Council president. So on the left is oh, no, I have him listed as a Democrat. I need to fix that. He is not a Democrat. He's a Republican. Oh, I need to fix that. That is a terrible mistake. I will fix that. He is a Republican. So on the left is Republican Ed Carroll. All right. He's the auditor, but besides being the auditor, he's also the Republican Party chairman. And then on the right is the Delaware County Council president, Jessica Piper. But along with being the elected to the county council, she is also the vice chair of the party. All right. So I'll fix that on Ed here in a minute. Ed, my apologies. I will get that fixed ASAP. I'm so sorry for that. I don't like you, but I know that you're not a Democrat. You're a failing Republican. Okay. Next up in this cast of characters, let me get to the cast of characters here. Who else we've got? All right. Next up, we have Democrat Eric Hoffman, who is the Delaware County prosecutor, and we've got Republican Sherry Riggin. All right. Tim, what would happen if Sherry was deemed not in good standing? Well, listen, I'll be honest, and this is what kind of sucks about this. Not a whole lot, really. Now, when Troy was deemed not a Republican in good standing, the Republicans did everything they could to make sure that they booted him from office as soon as they could. They threw everything they had at him. They treated him like just absolute shit. The same thing they do to Ryan Webb. They, take him off the website. They don't include him with things. And it really makes it harder for a person. Now, is it going to really affect Sherry? No, not in the long run, because she's got the name. It does absolutely nothing. The point is, though, what we need to do is do everything the same. If we're going to treat people like Troy and like Ryan and like Chad and myself and Amber Green and all these people the way that we're treating these people, then we need to treat her the same. If we're not going to treat her like that, then we need to not treat Ryan like that, and we need to not treat Troy like that, and we need to not treat me like that. That's all I'm saying. It's my belief that these parties should do more to welcome people in, both the Democrat parties and the Republican parties. Don't be gatekeepers. Don't try to keep people out of the circle. Try to welcome people in. If there are like-minded people that are willing to participate and they're willing to throw into the mix, then, man, we need to accept those people, because we are really in a position where, honestly, the benches are so shallow. We don't have very many players here. It's the same names always. And that's how they do the things they do, by keeping people out and, making sure that they maintain power. Because if they don't welcome new people in, then they never have to, it's not like they're ever going to have to give, the seat up to somebody new, And so that's the whole point of it. And that's honestly what I find to be utterly disgusting. But even though I'm against doing that kind of stuff, it comes back, in my opinion, it comes back to what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay. Now, I talked about this and I said my piece about this. And
do you have his party wrong too?
Who?
On the
no,
left
he's a Democrat.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that, because there's some people that have some serious questions about this, because they say, well, Eric did what you're accusing Sherry of doing, and I'm going to explain the difference.
Okay. Thank you.
So, no, that's no, he's a Democrat. He is a Democrat. I don't know why he's a Democrat. I don't think he's a Democrat, but he has ran as a Democrat. He is elected Democrat. We'll talk about this in a moment. Okay, so this is Democrat Eric Hoffman and Sherry Riggin. Now, on Election Day, a picture was taken of Sherry. Matter of fact, the picture that was taken is the picture of Sherry that you're looking at right here. That's the picture of Sherry that was taken. And there's a bigger picture. I cropped it because there was other people in there that's like not involved with this, and I didn't want to get them. I just wanted to get Sherry. So I cropped that picture because I just needed the headshot anyways. All right. And in that picture, It was posted to Facebook for all to see. And under the picture, Delaware County Prosecutor Eric Hoffman, in his citizen capacity, he wasn't working. It was election day, so he was off. And he was using his First Amendment freedom of speech to write and ask a question. And he asked a question of Sherry. And the question that he asked was this. And I've got this up on the screen. And the question was, he made a comment. And Eric's comment was, it's fascinating how Sherry Riggin has been campaigning behind closed doors for Kim Dowling and has an Ashley Wright sign at the Riggin family farmhouse on North Walnut. Well, look, those are pretty damning statements coming out from Eric Hoffman to Sherry Riggin. Sherry Riggin actually responded. I was shocked. She responded and she said, Eric Hoffman, the family home site belongs to my great nephew, who has a wife who allowed the said sign to be placed there. All right, let's talk about this for a second then. All right. To me, that puts to bed the sign issue. And I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter if you own a property or if you rent a property. The owner of the land doesn't get to dictate the sign. It's the person who lives there. So I don't know what the agreement is or what the deal is, but at one time it was the whole big Riggin family farmhouse. That being said, Sherry does not live there. Her nephew does. Her nephew and his wife live there, and they are able to put whatever sign up they want. If they want a sign of Ashley Wright, they're allowed to put a sign up there. So that now kills that point, all right? I'm not talking about that point anymore. Now, that does not stop the fact that I know that she's been out campaigning for Ashley Wright. So we can still question her on her support of Ashley Wright because she has been doing that. That just stops any question about the sign. That being said, I do want it noted that I'm not an elected official. I'm not a party member, but people ask me about signs all the time. People will say, hey, should I put this sign in my yard or whatever, because they know I'm in tune with this. You can't, no one would be able to convince me for a moment that Sherry didn't okay that sign to go there. I'm sure they asked her. I'm sure they talked to her about it because I'm sure that they would have known what it would look like. My grandmother was involved in politics, and I wouldn't just go down and put a sign up in her yard. My mom's mom passed in 2016. I would talk to her before, we would talk about things. So I'm not going to mention the sign anymore, but listen, at the end of the day, I believe she was made aware of that. And that just is one more thing that's like, yeah, she's obviously been supporting Ashley Wright. Like, she's a Republican running for office. Why would her, family member that lives in this house that's like connected to her, whatever. Okay, that being said, they're old enough, they're adults, they live there, they can have whatever sign. However, that's not the only comment that was made. Sherry goes on to say, as for Judge Dowling, she is a friend who has served us well. No, Dowling has not served us well. She might be a friend and she might have served, but it has not been well. In getting the word out about human trafficking that is everywhere, even in Delaware County. All right. To that, Hoffman responds, Sherry Riggin, so you admit you supported her over Andrew. Good to know. Now, at that time, the comments ended. There were no more comments made about this. Neither one of them said anything back, and that was the end of it. And I kind of thought that there wouldn't be anything back, okay? This was all made Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. I kind of thought it would be, this, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and it would be done. All right. However, on Wednesday, something that I don't think really any of us were expecting then happened. On Wednesday, the results came in Tuesday night, and Andrew Ramirez beat Judge Dowling. Okay. For the record, I'm going to show you here who, well, it's kind of hard to see the face, but this is this picture here. All right. We've got Judge Dowling has been marked through. Democrat Dowling, and Andrew Ramirez was picked. Andrew Ramirez was picked by the voters of Delaware County, and they spoke. I don't know what else to say. The voters of Delaware County spoke. Andrew Ramirez was voted on. He is the judge-elect. Dowling is now a lame duck judge, and her reign of terror on the Delaware County bench will come to an end when the clock strikes midnight on January 1st, 2025. Judge-elect Andrew Ramirez will be sworn in, and that will be that. Okay? It is what it is. Kind of didn't think that there would be much to it. Well, that is until everyone puts back in their memory a post that I made back in September, and then another post that I made in October, where I was speaking of a case in which we were all kind of waiting to see what Dowling was going to do. And this is the other part of tonight's local story that I'm going to talk about. And that is the Matthew Stidham case. Matthew Stidham was convicted of a brutal murder, and it has been being battled for years and years. Dowling has been doing everything that she could to reduce this convicted defendant's time in prison, and she was going back and forth with Eric Hoffman, the elected prosecutor. And from August, like the first week in August, they had their last hearing. She was supposed to release her decision within 30 days, but she failed to do so. And on October 5th, I released a writing, and we did a video on it, talking about the fact that I was afraid one of two things was going to happen. I was afraid she wasn't just going to act like she should have. I was afraid she was going to either wait until the election and she would win, and then in that case, if she would have won the election, she would then make a decision to release Matthew Stidham, because she would say, well, hell, I've got 6 more years on the bench. What does it matter? Everyone will forget by the time the election is up again. And she would do what she wanted, which was without thought and without merit. Or if she lost, she would say, to hell with it. And she would release Matthew Stidham and say, I'll do what I want to do. I'm out of here anyways. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what she did. The day after her ass was handed to her and she was kicked off the bench for actions just like this, she made the decision to release Matthew Stidham. Okay, now, so everyone is aware. Okay? I feel like it is important to note, and I just want to let you guys know that this is, it is a touch graphic, but we're all adults here, and it is important for people to be aware of the ins and outs and what's going on here, and be truthfully honest, because skirting around it is that's no way to be. Okay, we need to be truthful here. So I want to be sure that you are aware that this is not like a case of, this is just somebody that beat somebody and they punched him and he fell back and hit his head, or it wasn't like a gunshot. Okay. Matthew Stidham was the ringleader of 3 individuals, and those individuals beat a fellow Delaware County citizen. They stabbed him, they beat him, and then they took him to a river. They placed heavy machinery on him down into the water, crushing him and leaving him for dead like a piece of trash. Okay. They didn't stab him once. They didn't stab him 15 times. They didn't stab him 20 times. They didn't stab him 28 times. They didn't stab him 35 times. They didn't stab him 42 times. They stabbed him 47 times. Stabbed with a knife. All right. I want you to understand that when they first started stabbing him, it wasn't like they were fighting for their lives. They stabbed him while chanting, "Satan is with us." They stabbed him while saying, "We kill him for Satan." They stabbed him while saying, "Die, you bastard." They stabbed him while saying, "We're going to kill the motherfucker." They stabbed this man brutally. Okay? The autopsy revealed that this victim had been stabbed 47 times. 27 of those stab wounds were to his chest, abdomen, and the front of his body. 15 stab wounds went into his back. 5 stab wounds were into his arms. There were blunt force injuries found on almost every surface of the victim's body, including his head, chest, legs, and arms. There were multiple lacerations and bruises to the victim's head. The defensive wounds on his hands and arms were noted at being consistent with trying to stop the attacks. Some of the wounds penetrated the victim's lungs and his heart, which would have made it difficult for him to breathe. Okay, the heart had been penetrated. All right. Once the stab wounds were inflicted, it took the victim multiple minutes to die. This was not a quick and painless death. In February 2024, 1991, a police officer in Palos Heights, Illinois, performed a traffic stop on the van. And when the police officer walked up to the suspects inside, the defendant made the statement, "We killed him." When the officer asked who, the defendant said, "Some queer." Okay? So that's what we're dealing with here. In May of 1993, the defendant was convicted of murder, robbery, criminal confinement, battery, and auto theft. All right. On June 24th, 1993, the court sentenced the defendant to 141 years in prison. However, in July 14th, 1994, the Supreme Court affirmed that the auto theft should have not been charged the way that it was. And so that was taken off. And the sentence was reduced to 138 years. Okay? That's fitting. I find that to be fitting. On February 8th, 2016, the defendant started filing random post-conviction reliefs with Judge Dowling, and she and the prosecutor's office started going round and round and round about this. All right. So that's what we're dealing with. So when she released this individual on Wednesday, Eric went back to that post and he thought, Sherry's last comment was that Kim Dowling has served this county well. So Eric posted the article of the release to that comment. Okay. Great. Facebook user. Okay. I don't know him, so I can't have any opinion on this whatsoever. No one here knew O.J. Simpson, so you can't have any opinion on O.J. Simpson. If you don't know a specific individual, you cannot have any kind of experience or opinion or thoughts on what should happen to that person if they are found to be in a criminal way. Interesting. So Eric Hoffman said, Sherry, do you still think that she, the judge, has served us well? Okay. Sherry says, could be the young man and his family could have been given some bad advice to plead guilty. To which Eric says, Sherry Riggin, he was convicted by a jury, not a guilty plea. Not a guilty plea. All right. I want to be clear. He did not plead guilty. He was not given bad advice. I also want to be really clear here. Yes, there were 3 people. Sorry. We got a little caught up there, and I want to make sure because I don't want this to be confused. There were 3 people there. It was not just Matthew Stidham. There were also 2 other individuals there. And they also got time. Now, they also had lesser involvement in what they did. They also interviewed and were more helpful with the police. You know, there's a lot that goes into a situation when you have multiple suspects and they do different actions. And then when they're caught, depending on what they do, it depends on what happens. Now, I absolutely tell you, 2 of them have been released. One of them has been nothing but a monster and doing other kind of crazy shit since he's been released. He's been in trouble doing all kinds of other crazy things since he's been released. It absolutely is what it is. I don't know. Normally, sorry, we're having trouble here. I'm trying to get that taken care of. Normally, when you have individuals that are able to do this type of criminal behavior, this is not like this was a first-time situation, okay? And it's not like it's going to be a last-time situation. If you are able to take a life with the fierceness and the criminality that it would take, they took him out to an abandoned. It's not like they just killed him in his house for him to be found. They took him out to the middle of nowhere and dumped him in a little creek and pulled a heavy piece of machinery on him to weight him down. You know, I guess if the stab wounds didn't get him, maybe they were going to drown him in the water, hide his piece of trash body. Get it? You understand? Okay. So, listen, I wasn't the judge. I wasn't the jury. I didn't give him 141 years. I didn't change it to 138 years. I didn't then change it to 80 years. Okay. At all of these times, these individuals, the court determined that this is what this man needed. All right. So we'll get to that in a little bit because these two stories kind of go back to back. But I'm just letting you know, I don't agree with Kim letting this man out. But I'll tell you what, let's throw the Matthew Stidham case out. Kim has a history of coddling rapists, pedophiles, murderers, freaks, and weirdos, drug dealers. I don't understand what the deal is, okay? It's very, very strange, okay? Very strange. So, very strange. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, child abusers. You know, she has a long, long history of this, okay? So, and again, this is Sherry Riggin not denying what happened, but this is Sherry Riggin saying, yeah, I'm okay with this. And I think that she's done a good job. I think that she's done a wonderful job here. You know, so what I think that what we've got to look at is it's her pattern of behavior. All right. It's her pattern of behavior. Now, what I want to say, and Star Sally's comment there, because I knew that would come up too, and we'll come back to that because that's a misleading statement. I'll fix that in a moment. So we're sticking with Sherry Riggin for just one moment. Number one, I don't care if the Republican Party does something to her or not. All right. If they choose to do something with her, they will be saying, at least we're doing things across the board the right way. If they choose not to do something with Sherry Riggin, it will just be doing what they do when they show that they're not after setting some kind of normal precedent. It shows that they're only concerned with taking care of their people, and it just shows the fix is in. It's more gatekeeper politics bullshit, and the people should be upset by that. And what they don't understand is more action like that will just continue to the downfall of the party. That's all it is. Okay. That's all it is. I don't know. I can't. I have nothing else to say about that. So hopefully they'll deal with it. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't hold out much hope. They are who they are. All right. That story is now done. Now moving on to the Kim Dowling Stidham situation. A couple people have asked, well, wait a minute. If you're calling for the Republicans to go after Sherry, should you not be calling on the Democrats to go after Eric for supporting Andrew? Because Eric is a Democrat who supported Andrew, a Republican. And number one, I would say yes. If Eric was a precinct committee person within the party, then the Democrat Party should put Eric off as a Democrat not in good standing, and they should remove him from being a precinct committee person. The difference between Eric and Sherry is the fact that prior to any of this election, prior to anything happening, Eric Hoffman went in and sat down with, or I don't know that he went in. I can't say that. I got to take that back. He contacted the Democrat headquarters. He gave up his precinct committee person seat. He gave it up. He told them why he was giving it up. And he told them straight out, I will be supporting Andrew Ramirez. The difference is things that are done in the light versus things that are done behind closed doors. All right. If the party on the Democrat side chooses to do something to Eric, that'll be on them. But he did go to them and had made them aware of this ahead of time. They were fully aware of this. Sherry did not do that with the Republican Party. Sherry just was out here willy-nilly doing what Sherry does, and she got caught. There is an absolute difference there. The other thing is Sherry and Eric are both elected officials. So that notch would go against both of them. But the biggest problem is that Sherry is I believe that she's still a precinct committee person, and that she didn't notify anybody about this ahead of time. So that, my friends, is the distinction that I draw there. If the Democrat Party wants to do something with Eric Hoffman, have at it. I don't think he's a Democrat anyways. I've always said that. He needs to flip over onto the Republican side and be done with it and let that be. In my opinion, he's a Republican. I'll always say that. You're not going to convince me otherwise. It is what it is. But that's between him and them. All I know is, the other thing is, the Democrat Party does not have a history. The Democrat Party is fractured, and they've had wild fights between, am I a Democrat? Am I not a Democrat? Who these people are? Various people have fought. But the party hasn't actively kicked people out in the way that the Republican Party has, Troy. People have left the Democrat Party because they haven't liked leadership or they haven't liked this or that. But it's not been the leadership actively doing that. Listen, both of these parties suck. The leadership in both of these parties suck. I have no problem saying that. But there is a difference here, and the difference is what was done in the light versus what was done behind closed doors. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say about that. All right. The other thing, this Matthew Stidham thing, again, number one, this is not about Matthew Stidham. This is not about Matthew Stidham. This is about Kimberly Dowling. Demented Dowling. All right? Lunatic Kim Dowling. And her willingness or her ability, her desire, her need to coddle criminals. It's not like she's helping drug-addicted individuals by putting them in a treatment center, by helping them get clean, by helping people with mental illness or something like that. We're talking about child molesters, child abusers, abusers of women, rapists, pedophiles, murderers. She let out Kenneth Herbert and he killed his wife. What? I've literally got people being like, dude, are you afraid Matthew Stidham's going to come kill you? Man, I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. Question is, do I know what Matt did for 30 years to change his life? Well, I know he was a fireman and I know he was in jail, so he didn't have, he was in prison, so he had to live a certain level of expectation. Obviously he wasn't out there living just a life. Let me ask you this question. Do we know what the victim did in that same 30 years to change his life? And again, let me ask you. Listen, I want people to be aware that Sally has been a viewer here and has loved literally everything else I have ever said always, but doesn't like this because Matthew is a family member. And I totally get it. I didn't tag Sally in this. I'm not forcing her to watch. She's free to watch. I have no ill will of Sally. I've been friendly to Sally. Sally's been friendly to me. I completely understand why Sally is not happy with me. I completely understand why Sally is fighting for her family member. I just challenge Sally to say, what if your nephew was the victim? It's great that your nephew is still here and you're able to fight for him. What, Sally, if your nephew was the man with 47 stab wounds? Let me ask you this, Sally. Is Matthew coming to live with you? Let me ask you this. I know that you and I've talked about the feelings of being safe or unsafe. What if we released Jess David Woods to come live right next to you? The unfortunate part about doing 34 years for what he's done, unfortunately, that's not even 1 year per stab wound. Listen, let's let him out in 47 years. Oh, good. Listen, God would tell him to forgive him. I forgive Matthew. I forgive him. I'll forgive his ass in prison. Let's leave him there for 47 years. Then let's talk about it. Once he's done 1 year per stab wound, then I'll talk about it. I don't want him to get a free ride on a sentence because of a bleeding heart liberal judge. Victim's family wasn't asked. No, they didn't get to have an input. They were notified of this, and the victim's family did not want this person released. The prosecutor's office has fought against this release. It's been an ongoing thing for years and years and years. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just, it is it is what it is. Listen, Delaware County definitely made the right decision in releasing Kimberly from the bench, because if this is what she feels like is her calling, she needs to not be a judge. Will Andrew be the best person? Maybe not. And if he's not, if he's too crazy the other way, we'll throw his ass off. If he's not suitable, we'll throw his ass out. Whatever. If he does a good job, all right, cool. We'll do a good job. We'll wait and see. Time will tell. But again, you could throw the Stidham situation completely out. Throw the Stidham case out. Okay? I don't need to talk about Matthew Stidham ever again. There are plenty of other situations that Dowling has been involved with just like this. People do change. What if your brother was in prison? Would you give him a chance? I don't know. Well, first of all, this is not Sally's brother. First off, so if this was my nephew, would I give him a chance? Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, I'm willing to give Matthew a chance, but I want him to serve an appropriate time in prison. He's not even served a year per stab wound. When we do a year per stab wound, I'll be willing to talk then. 47 years, I'll be willing to talk. But we're short of that. So I've got a problem with that. I don't know. I can love my brother. I can love any human and hate the sin. And I can forgive. This is not about forgiving or not forgiving. Look, he didn't offend me. He did not victimize me. He did not victimize my family. I don't have a dog in this fight. I have a dog in the fight of not wanting a judge on the bench who has no more common sense than this. Has Jamie or Eric served enough time? Well, I forgive me, I mixed their names up, but the one of them, no, they did not serve enough time because one of them has been a repeat criminal and offender ever since. And if you're not aware of that, you need to do some serious reading and researching. He's been locked up and arrested for possession and OWI and all kinds of other various criminal activity. In my opinion, he's a habitual offender. At one point, he was trying to escape, and he was all the way up by the Canadian border trying to cross into Canada. Okay. So, all right, that is my input on those two situations. Again, I just really want to say just briefly, Sally, I have no ill will. I know that you're mad or upset with me because of my thoughts on this, and I completely understand and understand why. I completely get it. I have no ill will to you because you don't like what I'm saying. I completely understand it. I completely respect your ability to fight for your loved ones, for your family members, and I have no ill will towards you about that. I hope one day you will understand why we have different opinions. I wish you and your family the best. If you want to watch or not watch, I completely understand. And I have no ill will towards you whatsoever. I absolutely understand why you're upset with my thoughts on this. So I get it. All right. All right there, ladies and gentlemen. So on to the what I consider probably the most important topic of the night. And if you thought that was contentious, just get ready. So everybody has been living the same life that we've all been living since last week. All right. It's Sunday evening. It's 10:20 p.m. Eastern here in the great state of Indiana. Trump won the election handily. Okay. Won all of the battleground states. I mean, the map is absolutely insane. I mean, looking at this is nuts. 312 electoral votes. He's beating her by 5 million popular votes. He's the first Republican president to win the popular vote since George Bush in 2004. Okay. And this map is absolutely insane. Now, I know that there are a lot of hurt people, I guess. I'm hearing that there are a lot of people that are upset. I'm hearing that there are a lot of people that are freaking out. I personally have had some conversations with friends and people that I would consider close to me, who I'll tell you, really, really shocked me. So I'm going to tell you, I have talked and been doing this since before there was a Trump, since before any of this nonsense. I watched Trump rise in 2015, 16, watched all that happen, thought there's no way this is going to be serious. There's no way this can be real. This is a joke. There's just no way. I was very much like Glenn Beck. I didn't like Trump. There's, for all of you people that started watching The Bastards and whatnot, I always talked badly about Trump. I was not a fan of Trump. Now, I certainly was not a fan of Kamala Harris. I was not a fan of Joe Biden. I was not a fan of Hillary Clinton before that, okay? But I grew to understand the need for various things that Trump was saying and Trump was doing. And Trump very quickly became someone that I felt like I could support. Okay? It's no secret. Absolutely no secret. I videoed my vote and I posted my vote here. I cast a vote for Donald Trump. I am not a Ku Klux Klan member. I am not somebody going out here and putting black people or Mexicans or Muslims in chains. I am not saying that women have to be subservient to women have to be subservient to men. I am not out here hating on LGBTQ. Okay? I'm still Christopher Bilbrey. I'm still someone that gives it to Republicans the same way that I give it to Democrats and vice versa and back and forth. And I'm going to tell you, when Trump goes outside of what he says he's going to do, I'm going to be the first person there griping and bitching about it. I told you guys over a week ago that Elon Musk was not going to be part of the cabinet and that RFK was not going to be part of the cabinet. And guess what we're hearing today? Elon Musk is not going to be part of the cabinet. He does not want to go through Senate confirmations. RFK is not going to be part of the cabinet. He's not going to want to go through Senate confirmations. Well, no shit. All right? But those are things that Trump said. Guess what? Trump says a lot of things. Trump is always has the ability to change his mind, and he does frequently and often. All right, Trump's only goal is to get the deal made. That's his only objective, to win at this deal, and then to win at this deal, and then to win at this deal. And he will say and do whatever it takes to achieve that. If it means lie, if it means cheat, whatever, okay? Now, that is not a personality style that I like. That's not a personality style that most people like. However, if there is if he has items that he wants to succeed on that we as Americans want him to succeed on, if he has unorthodox skills at getting those things done, in my opinion, as long as he is not breaking the law, as long as he is not violating constitutional rights, as long as he is not acting in a criminal or treasonous manner to do something, I don't care if he's a liar. I don't have to live with the man. He's not my dad. He's not my husband. He's not my grandfather. He's not my neighbor. Do the damn job that we sent you there for. Do it to the best of your ability. Do it so the majority of Americans have a better life, next year than they had this year, a better life in 2 years than they had this year, have a better life in 3 years than they had this year, a life better each year than the year before, and you'll be doing a good thing. Now, we've got a lot of people running around talking about being scared. I've heard people say that now that Trump is in office and the Republicans have the Senate and the Republicans have the House, that they're going to outlaw women being able to file for divorce from their husbands. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. If it happens, if someone even starts talking about that, we will fight it. Let's fight it. We can fight that. We can all stand up and argue and fight it. Listen, we're all being afraid because of what might happen. What might happen. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. That's how we all have to live a life. Being fearful of what might happen. And if something happens that we don't like, that we can't tolerate, if it pushes your buttons enough, people will do something about it. And if or when that is needed or necessary, then okay, that'll happen. But what I'm hearing is Trump's going to come out and put the gays and the lesbians and the transgenders in a box, and he's going to make them wear these armbands, and he's going to put the blacks over here, and he's going to put listen, the only people that I hear that are currently separating us into little categories are all of the people that are freaking out about this. And people are saying, well, wait, you're not being very understanding. No, you want me to tell you why I'm not being understanding? Because I've recently had a friend of mine tell me that me voting for Trump was similar to me raping this friend of mine for 4 years. And then for a 4-year period, not raping this friend of mine. And then now saying, well, hey, could we be friends again? Knowing what the history has been. Do you hear how insane that is? How outside of our minds that is? The fact that I went to the polls and voted for someone that I felt had a better immigration policy, that had a better understanding of what I think the economy needs to be, someone can equate that to me raping them? That is a mental illness. One second. Stand by here. I want to show you something. I want to play this for you. Sorry, we're having a little bit of delay issues, so bear with me. I'm trying to get through this here. While I'm waiting on this to load up here, I want to ask everybody that is upset, everybody that's freaking out, everyone that is worried. My question to everyone out there that's got anxiety about what's happening is when we get to July of next year and nothing has happened that you think is going to happen. When we get to this time next year and none of this stuff has happened, will the anxiety decrease? Will the anxiety lessen? Or will you still have anxiety? Like, do we get to a point where nothing has happened and you guys will be like, okay, I finally feel I feel okay now. I'm all right. I understand that nothing's going to happen. Or is this going to be like a total anxiety show until he's out of office? Like, and I'm fine. I mean, I would like honest answers, and I'm not ridiculing anybody. I'm trying to understand, because we keep hearing how Trump is a bigot, Trump is a misogynist, Trump is this and that, and he has named a woman to be his chief of staff. We have large groupings of blacks and Hispanics that have went and voted. The Herald Bulletin, whatever the paper is in Madison County, just ran an article yesterday. It says Vice President Kamala Harris led a historic campaign as the first woman of color to run for president as a major party nominee. But for Dina Miller, a woman of color, a black woman, that didn't matter at all when she cast her ballot. The 52-year-old Kokomo factory worker said she was focused on the economy and an influx of illegal immigrants, not a candidate's race, gender, or even their personality. That made it easy for Miller to vote for former President Donald Trump, even though she doesn't like him personally. Trump dominated Indiana and soared to a second term in the White House on Tuesday. The main thing with Trump is he's stopping our jobs from going overseas, and he's going to increase those tariffs, she said. Harris didn't work in my favor. I don't like the things that she was doing. Miller stands as an example of how Democrats' efforts to appeal to blacks, specifically black women, failed to gain traction with some despite the chances to elect the first black female president. Around 90% in 2020 voted for Biden, but that support slumped to 78% for Harris this year, according to the New York Times Siena College poll of black likely voters from early October. Democrats had banked on a tidal wave of support from black women, assuming they would be repelled by Trump, who in recent weeks demonized immigrants from Haiti and other countries and said Harris happened to become black to bolster her campaign. But Trump's visceral opposition to illegal immigration and the promise to put Americans first were among the reasons Miller and others voted for him. There's not even enough housing for us, and it seems like Democrats take more care of the people that are coming here over the border. Take care of us first. 40% of African American voters under the age of 30 said the Republican Party was more likely to follow through on their campaign commitments than Democrats were. All right. So am I to believe that am I to believe that the white liberal Democrats are going to call these people idiots, ignorance, stupid? They don't know what's good for them. Are they Uncle Toms? What are we trying to figure out here? In this situation, who's racist? Trump, who got these people's vote, or the liberals that are freaking out because these people chose to vote for him? Whoa. What did Tweety Bird just say there? Dems deserve to lose for putting Joe up as our candidate. That's a very good choice. Yeah, who do the Democrats have? I used to say this about both people. I used to say this about both the Republicans and the Democrats. Very similar to what I say locally. The bench is very narrow. I will tell you, though, in the last 2 years, the Republican bench has started widening out. We now have some people who will follow in the footsteps of these folks in different paths or whatnot in the next 5 to 10 years, 15 years. We have people that I see that will come out of this. What does the Democrat Party have? The Democrats also need to get away from the abortion push. They need to get away from the everyone is a racist push. They need to get away from the cramming every specific lifestyle down everyone's throat. Can we not all just live as humans? How about we go for human rights and we be humans and treat one another like humans? I don't give a damn if you wear a dress or you wear lipstick or you like Taylor Swift or you like metal music or if you pee standing up or sitting down. I do not give a shit. It's not Trump. You're right. Trump's not going to do that. It's going to be a whole host of people. It's going to be a whole host of a situation. Let me tell you, as much as that's probably fair, Tweety Bird. Trump might not make your wallets fatter. He's also not going to lock you in a cage. He's also not going to throw out the brown lady that lives next to you that was born in Fort Wayne and her grandparents were born in Indianapolis, the people that have been here. If someone crawled over the wall or crawled through a tunnel or was sent here in a raft, those people might go home as they rightly should. If someone's here legally, Trump's not going to round them up and send them anywhere. Our wallets might not get fatter, but Trump's not going to start wearing pointed hoods and sending people to the gas chambers. Democrats have to stop with the Hitler talk. They have to focus on shit that resonates with everyday humans. Everyday humans. I'm saying you don't understand what I'm saying, Tweety or DC. I'm saying he might deport the people that don't belong here. I'm fine with that. He's not going to deport people who are here legally. He's not going to deport a dark-looking American. If someone is here illegally, you're probably going back. Rightfully so. But he's not going to deport the black person down the road. He's not going to deport the Muslim who was born in America and has been here for 3 generations. That's not going to happen. I want you guys to see this. This is that lady that is apparently an actress, so we're all supposed to care about her. She was like the bit actor on Criminal Minds. I want you guys to listen to this. I want you to listen to this.
Can't hear her.
You can't hear her?
No.
Let me do it this way again. Where's it at? Okay, there we go. All right, here we are. Sorry, folks. Here we go. You'll be able to hear this. Or tell me if you can hear it.
Does your if you need like me some like just some real good reminders. I do not consort with Nazis, and I do not consort with people who consort with Nazis. And if that makes you feel uncomfortable, good.
No, first of all, listen, are there people out there that hate Jews? Yeah, there are. There are absolute assholes in the world. Are there people out there that are racist? Yep, absolutely. Are there assholes out there? Yes. Do they make up half of the country? No. And if you're allowing a source of media or several sources of media to poison your brain to the fact that you believe that half of your fellow humans in America are racist and they hate you, then you really, really, really need to change the channel, because that is not true. What makes me uncomfortable about this actress is that she's talking like she has some air of authority. She's acting like she's all high and mighty above us. And, you know, she's schooling us and, oh, good, I want you to feel uncomfortable by the fact that I don't like you. Just continue listening to this.
I want you to be disgusted by your behavior. You can be.
By what behavior? She wants me to be disgusted because I followed an election. I followed an election better than probably 95% of the people that voted. And she wants me to be disgusted because I walked into a booth and cast a ballot in a way that you're not even supposed to know. And you're damn sure not supposed to have an opinion on. You can like it or not like it. But if you treat me different because of the way I voted, isn't that you being the way that you're saying you're afraid that I'm going to be? I'm not treating you different because you voted for Harris. You're treating me different because I voted for Trump. You want me to be ashamed and disgusted because of I've followed politics for the last 30 years of my life?
Uncomfortable by what I'm saying. I need to get more comfortable with you being uncomfortable, because I've got a real long history of not wanting people to feel bad in general. I don't want you to feel bad about you as a human being, never. But I want you to feel disgusted about your disgusting actions. So if you did something disgusting, like vote for someone who treats women and people that are different and the most vulnerable of us in abhorrent ways, I want you to feel grossed out by that behavior. That's appropriate, right? It's appropriate to be disgusted.
If there was someone like that, show that to me. Show me that person. Because Trump has said dumb shit on a stage like a comedian does or whatever. I mean, like, look, I've called Dustin Clark the Green Goblin. I've called Belinda Munson a cardboard box. Do I hate women? Do I hate men with goatees? Look, I'm sure there's an elected official that's gay that I don't like. Doesn't mean I don't like gay people. It means I don't like what he's doing as a gay person. I didn't ask. Well, I didn't. Somebody other than me said this. I didn't say this, and I didn't ask if I could say this, but I'm going to. Just a thought. These people understand now. All these people understand how worried we were not getting the vaccine. Worried about losing our jobs and being confined. Remember back when people were saying that if we didn't want the vax, we should not be able to get medical treatment? Remember when people said that? Remember when people wanted folks? I have never got that. I don't know. Maybe we're off YouTube already. I don't know. Maybe we've been kicked off. You know that thing, that shot that everyone was supposed to get a while back during that thing that happened? I've never got it. Do you know how dogged we were for that? You know how all the comedians on all the late night stations and everywhere was going around, and Howard Stern was saying, I'm tired of those people. Just let them die. If they die quicker, then the normal people will all be here. That's stuff that they were actually saying. I've never heard Donald Trump say he wanted people to die. I've never heard Republicans say they wanted someone to die because you'd take up hospital. Screw you. What do you mean? You take up hospital space. These mental head cases are going to take up hospital space. What do you mean? I've had COVID 3 times. I've never been to the hospital. Listen, so let's go on. All right. So because of the fear, it didn't happen. But because you were afraid that it might happen, you were willing to just let us die. You wanted us to just die. Just go ahead and get it over with. You wanted us to lose our jobs. You wanted us to be confined. We were forbidden to fly without these cards that said that we had got the jab here, there. We were supposed to lose jobs because of it. And now, funny enough, in 2024 and 2025, the medicine is catching up. And the studies are catching up. And the doctors and everything's catching up. And people are saying, wait a minute, we're not so sure all of that stuff. See, you guys only talk about your own COVID cases. You don't care about anyone else. That's hilarious. I think that is comical, because anyone really only has their own lived experience. Don't we talk about that? Don't we talk about our lived experience? I can only go off my lived experience. I can go off of my grandparents' lived experience. I can go off my parents' lived experience. I can go off my neighbor's lived experience. And some of you people that I know personally, I can only go off the people that I know. I can't go off of some family living in Italy that I don't know, or someone out there living in California that I don't know. I can give you examples from my life, but that doesn't mean that I don't care. Like, are people on the left, when people on the left are talking and giving examples, does that mean they're only caring about themselves? Or are we not supposed to give example? Like, how the way that the language and the folks on the left try to squeeze the language down into a box to make it only be one specific thing. And if you say this, then this is something, you're going way out above and you're out of line and it's wrong or whatever. It's nuts. So am I not supposed to give examples? No, I behave in a manner that doesn't harm anyone else. What does that mean? So am I behaving in a manner that harms someone else? What behavior am I doing that's harming someone else? How am I harming someone else? What are you doing differently than me? What are we doing differently? We're two people that live in the same city. We're both white people, so we've got that for us. We both got 2 arms and 2 legs. You're a woman, I'm a man. So, as far as that, we're fairly similar. How am I behaving differently than you're behaving? Are my actions harming someone? I've had all of my vaccines and shots to protect myself and my community. And let me tell you, and I've specifically not taken the vaccines to protect myself and my community. I wash my hands. When ill, I don't go around other people. I do things to try and, if I am ill, to get better quickly. I've been tested, doing things like that, and whatever. Yeah, right. Yes, listen, folks, I'm going to tell you, listen. Let me be very clear. 4 independent doctors have told my grandparents, do not take any more shots. Why are the doctors starting to tell people to not take the shot? Dr. Catherine Callahan's joined the chat. And what's Dr. Catherine Callahan saying? I am putting this out here. Do not do any more shots. Well, Tweety Bird, it might be time for a second, what's it called? Second opinion. I don't know. I don't know.
Are we going to be having Ashley on sometime soon
I hope
to
so,
go over
yeah.
that
Yeah.
book?
Yes. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to talk. I will send her a message and we'll talk with her soon. That would be great. Oh, Tweety Bird, we're not. Listen, man, we're just passing on information per us, dude. I'm not a doctor. Listen, I'll put it to you this way: take all the shots, take no shots. Do what you feel you need to do. Live the life that you feel you need to live. I want everybody to live the way they feel. I am a friend to black people. I am a friend to gay people. I am a friend to people who believe they're trans. It's not my lifestyle. I don't choose that way. I don't, I think that Micah Beckwith is a tool bag. I just completely, absolutely have no use for Micah Beckwith.
And a bigot.
I believe he's probably a bigot. I believe he's an idiot. Honestly, I believe he's an idiot. That Tweety Bird, that is a sad. I hope that, I pray that one day you won't feel that way, because that is a sad way to think. That there are people out there that do not think about. I see people doing actions on a daily basis where they're putting other people ahead of themselves. And let me tell you, none of it has a damn thing to do with being liberal or conservative or black or white or a Jew or trans or gay. It's just human beings living. I know, and that's the thing, Catherine. Everybody. It was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I don't know. We were told during that whole situation that we were evil. Matter of fact, it's got real close in this episode. I mean, I'm surprised that I've not heard that it was evil. I'm evil because I've not got the vaccine. We were told that we would kill them being selfish. I basically heard I'm selfish tonight. I didn't, not in so many words, but basically. No one cared about our fears then. People didn't stand up and say, hey, they should be able to live the way they choose. It's their life. It's their lived experience. They said, to hell with us. They thought we should be shuttled off to camps, denied employment, denied being allowed to travel, shop without proof of vax. If someone came and tried to round up the homos or the trans, would you all allow that? If someone came out and said, I'm going to get the homos, you know what I would do if I heard someone say, I'm going to round up the homos? First of all, I would be like, is this for real? Who talks like that? I'd find out if it was something local. I would bitch. I would fight. I would never let someone say that around me. I don't believe for a second that Donald Trump is going to say that. I don't believe anything is going to change. I believe what you're going to hear from people that are like-minded to me is live your life, be happy being who you are, and I am happy for you. Some people might participate with you and others might not. But why do we need, I don't need anybody else to participate in my life. I know the people that are going to participate in my life. Some people like me, some people don't. I'm cool with that. We don't need to force anybody to participate in our life. For the greater good. For the greater good. I would not sit by. Kate would not sit by. Brandon would not sit by. I know a lot of people that would stand up. Let me tell you, how damn old do you think that I am, Tweety Bird? Oh, I didn't get a polio vaccination. I think it's gone, isn't it?
No, you probably had them when you were little.
They still do polio vaccines?
They still do polio
Isn't there
vaccines.
one of them they don't
My
do?
kids have them.
Okay, that might be. Yeah,
smallpox, sweetheart.
Smallpox is what I was thinking of. Sorry, all right. My bad, Tweety Bird. Yeah. The difference there, Tweety Bird, let me tell you the difference with the polio vax and that. All right, let me tell you. Because I'm not specifically anti-vax. I know there are people are. To each their own. When a vaccine has been around for 40, 50, 60 years, and we have a pretty good understanding of what's going on, then to each their own. Decide. Most people probably will take it. We're just now, let's see. The pandemic hit here in March of 20. When did we start getting it? When did the vax hit? Dude, we're going to be demonetized or whatever happens.
Oh, God. 2020, late 2020?
No, it didn't. That quick?
Well, Trump was still in office.
I guess that's true.
So 2020.
When did the COVID vax come out? December of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So 2021, 2022, 2023, 2020. We're almost to 4 years. Not even to 4 years.
Yes.
We're not even to 4 years.
Almost.
Yeah. If I'm still here in 36 years, I might take the COVID shot. I don't know. Probably not then, because I'll have made it all that time. I don't know.
I like vaccines that have been tested and been around a while before I let my kids have them. My
Yeah,
oldest
right.
did not have a chicken pox vaccination. They came out right before he was born.
Yeah, that's
My
one I knew
daughter
they
did not
stopped
have
doing.
it.
Yeah.
She did not have the chicken pox vaccine. They turned 12 and I got it for them.
You got it for them?
I had them vaccinated when they hit puberty.
Did they have the? Did you say they didn't?
They
ever
had
have
it. They came out right before they were both born, so it was
Yeah.
new.
Okay, yeah.
And then when they hit puberty, then they got the chickenpox vaccine.
But did they ever have the chicken pox?
No, and that was
Okay.
why that I got them vaccinated.
Yeah.
Because they had not had the chickenpox on their own.
Yeah.
None of the kids have had the HPV. It's still
Yeah.
too new, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll see in a few years, and maybe we'll get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're
My
not
husband's over
specific.
here.
You're not like anti-vax person.
No,
You're not like,
the kids have had their MMRs, their polio,
Yeah.
their hepatitis, all of those. They've had those. But the ones that come out that are new, that are not decades old, we wait.
yeah.
We see. I want my kids to be healthy. I want my kids to be safe. But I also don't want them to be a guinea pig.
Yeah. Yeah.
My husband has done enough guinea pigging for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
What is it, 3 or is it 4?
Hmm.
Anthrax rounds,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Enough of that nonsense.
you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, see, now, Catherine, that's my husband's solution too. Put a
Yeah,
condom on.
right. Yeah,
Or
right.
just don't fuck with a whole bunch of different
Right.
people.
Right. Absolutely. Well, look, I'm just saying, I know a lot of people that are really freaking out right now. And I'm just saying, like, there's this whole movement where chicks are like shaving their head. Now what's happening is people that are coming out that are cancer survivors and being like, hey, don't be going and shaving your head, saying that you're making yourselves ugly. That is so gross. Because people who have cancer, these children that have cancer, that we're trying to tell all these people, like, "Lo, you're beautiful without your hair," and now we've got all of these women that are thinking for everyone else, and they're not thinking about themselves. They're thinking about the whole. Everyone else are running around saying, "I'm going to make myself ugly so my husband or my boyfriend or my other men won't like me. I'm making myself ugly by being bald." Hello? What? Like, that's probably pretty rude. There are, people, you haven't? Are you kidding? Stand by.
Oh, it's not just the head shaving thing either.
Oh, yeah.
It goes beyond the head shaving.
Yeah. Talk about it as I'm getting this pulled up.
Okay, so there is a feminist movement in South Korea that was started. That's the 4B movement. There's also a 7B movement
Oh, God.
and a 4T movement that are all feminist ones over in South Korea. And they're bringing the 4B movement to the U.S. since this election. And the 4 tenets of that 4B movement are no sex with men, no marrying men, no dating men, and no childbirth.
Why? But why? What's that got to do with what's currently going on, Kate?
I have not a fucking clue.
No. From their point of view, man.
From their point.
Not from your point of view.
From my point of view, from their point of view, it's
insane.
because they are taking away women's rights. And the only way to assert your power and your authority as a woman is to go with no sex and no marrying and no dating and whatever.
How insane that is.
If you go with the 7B plan, though, the 7B plan also includes no talking to men.
Oh, God. Well, yeah,
I don't remember what the 4T plan was. Don't ask. I was up to my eyeballs in it, and I got, yeah.
What's with all
It's
these
not real. Don't believe everything you see.
Who's saying that?
Tweety.
Oh, dude, what do you mean it's not real, Tweety Bird?
There are videos of these women shaving their heads, screaming.
Yeah, we're getting it. Yeah, like this is a big, it's a thing that's happening. Listen, Tweety Bird,
it's all your fault, Christopher, because you're a white man.
It is.
Thank you, Cindy, for clarifying that for us.
What?
Now we know.
What's Cindy say?
Huh? That you white men are the problem.
Oh, yes. I'm off screen.
It's not real life. No. It's
not. No, you're right. It is not real life.
It is not real life. And Darla's saying it's actually good that these people won't be reproducing.
And that is
yes, I agree with that too. I just find the irony in giving up sex for abortion rights to be very confusing. The pro-life people have been saying don't go out and have just sex to have sex because you want to have sex, and then you won't have to worry about getting pregnant and ending up with an unwanted pregnancy, and then you have to go get an abortion to get rid of the unwanted pregnancy. They're doing what the pro-lifers want.
Yeah.
The irony is just blowing my mind. I can't. Well, in this election, though, Tweety, it's not just white men. It's Hispanic men. It's Black men. It's uneducated white women. It's a 5 million majority popular vote.
Yeah.
It's all of us who didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I'm sorry. I'm not a racist. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not.
Janine Lee Lake was on was on Eric Hoffman's Facebook page a little bit earlier tonight.
And I have a brain.
Yeah, saying that all of these Hispanics and all of the people of color are all Uncle Toms. Now that I would never say something like that in my life. That's Janine Lee Lake, a woman of color, saying that about other people of color. That's absolutely insane to me. Why she feels like, that's an appropriate thing to say.
And he only got 20% of the vote for the Black population. Yeah. So it's not like whatever, that was the deciding factor in this. No, it was across the board. Trump got more votes in every demographic except college educated whites.
Yeah. All right. I think I've got this up here now.
She wants attention. Well, that could be very well be it. She is kind of a career run for politician.
But don't we think that, that seems like it's a lot of what's going on here. It's not, none of this stuff is real. It's all attention, but none of this is good. None of this helps
anybody. And they're certainly
none of it helps anybody.
They're not helping themselves.
Yeah. Right.
How about when Biden, I was not happy about Biden being elected. But I didn't crawl into a corner and cry and rage against the machine and shave my head. I stepped back and said, okay, let's wait and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it won't be as frightening as I think it will be. Maybe it'll be okay. Yeah, and inflation sucks and all this, but the world did not burn down yet. He's got another month and a half to make that happen if he wants to, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, things haven't been great. But America's still here. Oh, Lord. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
This is my favorite person. This is my favorite thing.
This morning feeling spicy. You guys feel spicy? Because I do. All right. I don't know how to use this thing. Let's see what happens. Is this cutting off hair? I'm going to have to cut it shorter than that. That's it down, right? I think that this is too... Oh, it's getting hair. Let's see here. Maybe I got to cut it. Here we go. Have I given up on America? Yeah. I've also given up on coloring this hair because, right? Fuck coloring my hair. Fuck having my hair be long and luxurious. Fuck all that shit. Fuck being skinny. Fuck being hot. Fuck being all the things that the patriarchy wants us to be. Because clearly, they don't give a shit about us. And I'm talking to you, too. Those of you ladies who have the internalized misogyny required to do what you did. Minorities who are so scared of a woman in power that you'd rather cozy up to the white man just in case some crumbs fall off his plate so that you may eat from them. Yes, scraps. I don't know how to work this thing, but I'm on my way. I'm going to figure it out. Let's just do some cutting. You know why? Because this is taking too long. Here we go. Short hair we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're cutting it off because fuck you. That's why. You think I'm crazy? Me too. Crazy.
Yes.
Just like all the women before me who were crazy. So fucking crazy. You know what? It's been a day. It's been a year. It's been 9 years, 8 years, whatever it may be. Around this time, 8 years ago, it's one of the worst times of my life.
See, Alva.
Fell apart. Not because of this. Don't get too excited. I'm just talking about regular life stuff I talk about on here. But trust me, I understand. I've heard the message loud and clear. We all have. Now women are going to have to just refuse to participate. Sorry, if you're a man, I will not be responding to you. If you are a man, I will not be talking to you. I am going to be promoting the 4B movement from here on out. Care, I don't care. Better scissors, my hair, cutting it all off. Probably painting a target on my back here, but whatever. At least I live in a state right now that has liver rights still. And we voted out Brandon Williams. Fuck that guy. Back to Texas from whence he came. We also voted yes on Prop 1, which will codify into law some equal right protections.
Tweety Bird, you say that this is attention seeking, and I very much agree. That is not normal behavior. Okay, that is absolutely not normal behavior. I mean, I believe when Britney Spears did that, everyone said that she was having a mental break from reality, and they put her in some kind of a treatment. Okay. Now, I am not a mental health expert. I have no idea I don't know if that lady's just doing that for fun. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't know if she's just a performance artist. I don't know. So I cannot speak to that, but I will stick to your attention-seeking behavior. But when you say these are extreme examples, I'm going to tell you I have had 3 phone calls in the last 3 days from women right here in East Central Indiana that are saying these exact same things. They're not cutting their hair off, but they're telling me that our relationship is now different. They've listened to everything that I've said. They've known who I've been. They've known that I'm a conservative. They know what is in my heart. They know what is going on in my life. They know how I have acted over the last period of time that they've known me. And then the bell struck 12 from Tuesday into Wednesday, and then 1, and then 2, and then 2:30 came. And when Trump was called the presumptive winner, somehow I changed. And now things are different. My question would have been, if I would have voted for Trump, but Harris would have won, would things have been different? If I would have voted, if I wouldn't have kept secret how I voted, if I wouldn't have voted, but I still have the same beliefs that I have, would things have been different? I don't consider what the women that I've talked to, the 3 women that I've talked to, that are very important people in my life, that I look at as people that are very important to me, have told me that our lives will forever be different. Our lives are changed from now forward. That I'm not here for them. And granted, some of these women are people that have called me in the middle of the night when their houses have been being broken into. And you know what I did? I didn't say, well, that sucks to be you. Yeah, you know. I jumped up, broke my toe on the corner of the desk, threw my pants on, grabbed 2 different pairs of shoes, grabbed my gun, ran red lights getting to one of their houses, putting myself in danger. No, they didn't shave their heads, but no, they don't need to shave their heads to be having a complete mental breakdown. You don't have to shave your head to say that you're changing the way that you're living a life, and you're now going to look at someone that's been in your life for the last 10 years as someone totally different now because of a political vote. I didn't vote to lock anybody up. I didn't vote I didn't call anybody a homo. I didn't call anybody the N-word. I didn't say that I hate gay people. I didn't say that I hate Muslims. And let me tell you, when Trump does something wrong, I'm going to be the first person out there saying he did wrong. That's exactly right, DC. That's exactly right. How could they be, right? How could they be? Tweety Bird, that's that good damn question. Moreover, I know you're not Republican. I know you, I haven't asked you, but I'm assuming you probably voted for Harris. I'm telling you right now, if you text me right now in the middle of this show and told me that shit had hit the fan, your house was burning down, someone was breaking in, you needed help, if you text me, you got my number. If you text me what little I know of you, I would shut this shit down and I would be coming there to help you. If Charlize Jameson texted me and said she needed help, I would be there. You notice I didn't say he. I'm not being rude. I wouldn't be rude. I know Charlize. I have a lived experience with Charlize. I'm going to continue being respectful of Charlize just the same way I would expect anyone else to be. Doesn't mean anyone has to like it or agree. Just the way that I choose to live my life. There are going to be some that understand and some that don't. And that's between each and every individual person. I don't want to be in a position where I am forced to do anything with anyone ever. I'm shaving my head to troll these fools. I wish I could do it. I can't. My hair is my power. I don't know, folks. I'm just telling you. If you're in a position where you think that your life is changing so drastically because Trump was elected, you need to talk to someone. A friend, a preacher, a doctor, several friends. I just don't want people to let the paranoia take them down and make them make decisions that they are going to regret. Absolutely, Darla Barber. Absolutely. No spiritual compass. And that's, listen, I think you see a pattern start to emerge with it. It's this common thought behind a lot of this paranoia. I'm just letting you know, everyone is always going to be welcome to have their thoughts and opinions here. Okay? Everyone's always going to be permitted to speak and say what they want to say. And we need to be able to have tough conversations. I just want people to know that you're okay. Take a deep breath. And if you get so worked up about what's going on nationally, you need to flip the script, man. If people could just take a quarter of this and flip it and apply it to the local government and to their state government, things could be much better. Things could be much better. I want to show you this last thing before we leave. Pain in the ass getting this shit to work. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for all of the video skippy. At least audio's working. So sorry for all of the
Send me what you're trying to put up, Kristopher.
nonsense. Okay. Let me see if I can do it on my phone. That might be better.
And quit sharing your screen. Maybe that'll help some. Seems
Yeah.
like overtaxed over there.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the deal is. Give me a second here. Let me back out of that.
Send me what you're trying to put up. We'll get it up.
Let me send this to you. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, this is my favorite. I just sent it to you. Send it in the group. Like, this is nuts.
It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too. It's all right. We feel that way together, okay? Let it out. Let it out. Everybody wants to show the happy side. I'm mad as hell today! But because I have responsibilities, I'm gonna do these freaking dishes.
That's the first thing I wouldn't do, are the dishes. I'd be like, screw the dishes. I ain't doing them. Trump won. Tweety Bird says, who is disparaged? Because Cindy said, if you don't have a spiritual compass focus, you won't be so disparaged. And Tweety Bird says, who is disparaged? Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, though, the three women that I talk to that aren't shaving their head, they're feeling pretty disparaged. I mean, they're telling me things like that. I mean, I'm hearing that. Let me tell you, I'm hearing that. I can't really say that. I'm hearing betrayed, that folks, someone feels betrayed that I'm a conservative. They're betrayed. I mean, that's a pretty heavy word. When I hear people say that they belong to these secret groups that they can't talk about, that they're saying we're being told in these groups not to talk to people like you. Wait a minute. Who's telling you that? Yeah, maybe I should have kept it such a secret. If only I would have had like a podcast and would have been talking. I know that as a woman, we fear. How do you know what other women fear? You know what you fear. As a woman, you fear your rights are being slowly stripped away. Do you mind to tell me? I mean, so obviously we're talking about abortion, right? So we're talking about that. So other than abortion, what other right is being stripped away, Tweety Bird? You don't have to tell me, please understand. I'm not trying to pry. Obviously, no one on here knows who you are, and I'm not making fun. I respect the conversation, respect the back and forth. Whether we agree or disagree is one thing, but I appreciate your input. So that's the only reason I'm asking. And I appreciate you sticking to your guns and holding your own. I respect that. Whether I agree or disagree with you, I respect you for sticking to your guns. So besides the abortion issue, which, I don't know if I'm not going to say that. Yeah, that's the other thing is I heard someone say that it's all this misogyny and no one's ever going to put forward a female candidate. Run a good female candidate. There are several conservative female candidates I would support in a heartbeat. But I mean, I come from a long, strong line of strong women. And I don't know a damn one of them that feels like they are lesser today than they were yesterday, lesser today than they were 10 years ago. Every one of them that I know that's still alive and still strong beating in my life, I know that they all still feel extremely strong and proud to be women and strong Hoosier, God-fearing, constitutional minded. Some of them are conservative, some of them are not. Women. That's no. You're doing something. That's the one thing I don't like that you do. That's not what I asked you. I said, other than abortion, you said, I know that as a woman, we fear our rights are slowly being stripped away. And I said, well, I can't let you speak for other women, but I can let you speak for yourself. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you probably can speak for other women, but let's just make it really easy. Yourself, you feel that you fear that your rights are being stripped away as a woman. Now, I want to know, do you got different rights than I've got? We don't all have just rights as Americans. I want to know what rights you feel are being stripped away. Is something stripped away today that wasn't yesterday? Is something stripped away this week that wasn't 2 weeks ago? What right is stripped away? Yes, if Christian nationalism is adopted. Okay, so if Christian nationalism is adopted, well, it sounds like you've got a worse problem with the state government than you do Trump, because Micah Beckwith is at the state level. He's not part of the Trump administration, but Mike has even said here on this show that he's not pushing a Christian nationalist point of view, that he doesn't have an issue specifically with a Christian nationalist perspective, but that he's not attempting to push that on Indiana. That said, he's just the lieutenant governor. He's going to have next to no power. And mark my words on that, he will have very little, if any, power. But being what, so meaning Christian nationalism is, so it's adopted. Who would adopt it, and what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm gonna have to get ready to go. We'll give it just a few more minutes, but I would like to try to narrow this down, because this is important. Like if I'm gonna be accused of not being willing to listen, I'm putting it out here. I'm trying to figure out what. I mean, if you don't like me asking you what your rights are, then let's try to go with this question. What's part of being a Christian nationalist that you're afraid of? What specifically are you afraid of in there? Someone told me that they felt like women would not be able to file for divorce. Do you believe that? Do you believe that in the next 4 years, a woman will not be able to file for divorce from her husband, either in the state of Indiana or in the United States? Do you know 3 women have died? We're getting all over the place.
Other than abortion.
What?
Other than abortion.
Yeah, we're getting all over the case.
Abortion is at the state level, so that's not anything to do with Trump anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah. INO. I don't know what that means. I'm sure that there are a lot more than 3 women that have died from miscarriage. Honestly, probably. I don't see Stumblefoot. Oh, I see him there. All right. One more minute and I've got to roll. One more minute. We'll come back to this. Think hard. I would like to know. No to divorce question. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's good. We're on the same page there. I would be interested to hear what you think. Let me tell you, let me ask you this. Here's what I would like. Well, we can talk about this more tomorrow. But I would be interested to know what rights that you are afraid that you as a human being here in the state of Indiana, in the United States of America, I want to know what rights that you think that you won't have in 4 years. I would really need to hear this because I depending on what you say, there's a very good chance I will fight for your rights, fight for those rights. I don't want rights to be taken away from any person. Would promote women to stay home and make babies. Would promote. So that's like saying conservative values promotes that, but that's not a law. So, all right, I promote women to stay home and make babies. That's not a law. You can choose to do what you want to do. I encourage, okay, that's encourage. Kind of feel like the church already does that. I think that's been here for a long time. But I think that there's not a law behind it. Again, I'm interested. You can either text me or you can email me or you can come back tomorrow and talk about it. But I would like to know what rights you feel you're not going to have in 4 years or that you're afraid you won't have in 4 years. I would be interested. Matter of fact, this goes for any woman out there watching this, watching it live, watching it in repeat, watching it in replay. Please let me know in the next 4 years. Today is the 10th of November, 2024. So November 25, 26, 27, 28. I want to know what rights that you're afraid that you will lose come November of 2028. I'm not talking about Christianity on its own. No, I understand that. I'm just trying to get some kind of answer from you. You've not answered any of these. I've asked you like 2 or 3 kind of questions, and I've still not been able to get any specific answer.
That's not true. You did get an answer on the divorce.
Well, yeah, sorry. Yes, you did. You did answer no on the divorce, which I agree and I agree with, and I appreciate you answering. All right, email me. Anyone out there, you're free to email me. There it is. Email me. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. We got more to say. I'm not even remotely done talking about this. We got more to say, and it's not like I'm trying to write. And we're gonna do local stuff, but we've got a lot to unpack here. Because let me tell you, I want people to feel comfortable. Let me tell you what I think. I fully believe, and I might be wrong, and I'll tell you if I am. I think that Trump and the people around him, I think that they are going to want to do things differently. Did you all hear that, what's his name? Kid Rock came out and posted a video the other day. Maybe we'll play it tomorrow. Where he did a video after the election. He's been very vocal and real macho and outgoing in his support for Trump. And then he did a video on Wednesday that came out and said, like, look, he was very subdued. And he was like, look, this isn't a time for me to come out and brag and rub your nose in it. I'm not trying to do that. Like, I understand that there are people that are confused. There are people that are sad and upset. And this is our time to try to reach our hand out and bring them over and say, look, let's try to do better in our country now. And I was like, wow. Whatever his name is, Bob Ritchie, whatever. Like, that's really nice of you. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you. Meeting of the Madison County Council Tuesday, November 12th. I will be there.
About adding an additional $12 million in spending right after they've just finished a budget. So this might be an important one for people to attend.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. We'll have Catherine on Tuesday. That'll obviously be a local thing. Tomorrow we got a couple things we'll talk about, but we'll definitely be talking about this. This will be important. We need to talk about this. We need to get to the bottom of this, and that Madison County thing will be big. The wastewater episode will be this Friday. This will be a big show. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. It'll be at 8 p.m. So be looking out for that. And we'll have to take bets on whether or not you think Ben Gale will have me arrested at this next upcoming meeting. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great night. Take care. God bless each and every one of you. And we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. Remember to thank a veteran and do all of that. Remember what that is. Don't say Happy Mary or whatever I got in trouble for last time. So you guys take care. God bless.
No. You can say Happy Veterans Day because that's for anybody who served.
Okay,
you
yes.
Can't say Happy Memorial Day because that's just for those who died.
All right. Well,
so you're perfectly fine to say Happy Memorial.
All right, good. I'm glad we got that taken care of. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good one. Take care. God bless. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.